There's a certain kind of person who seems untouched by the chaos around them. No matter how loud the world becomes, no matter how intense the situation gets, they remain steady. Their voice stays even, their breath is steady, and their presence grounded. They don't rush to defend themselves or get swept into unnecessary drama. They simply breathe, observe, and remain calm. And in doing so, they become a quiet anchor in a storm. Many of us have met someone like this. A person who exudes peace even when everything around them feels like it's falling apart. They're not emotionless. In fact, they feel deeply. They just don't react in the same way most people do. Their emotional responses have been tempered by experience, and this gives them an uncanny ability to stay composed in situations where others might panic, argue, or act impulsively. But real calmness, the kind that comes from deep understanding and self-control, isn't something people are born with. It's something they've learned. Calm people weren't always this way. In fact, many of them used to be overthinkers, perfectionists, or people pleasers. Individuals who tried to control everything, fix everything, and avoid conflict at all costs. They cared too much, reacted too quickly, and often found themselves overwhelmed by the chaos of life. But after experiencing enough emotional turmoil and disappointment, they learned that panic only makes things worse. The more they tried to control the uncontrollable, the more exhausted they became. So, at some point, they stopped fighting the waves of life. Instead, they learned how to ride them. Calmness doesn't mean not feeling. It means feeling deeply but understanding your emotions so thoroughly that they no longer control you. In psychology, this is called emotional regulation, the ability to manage your emotional state without suppressing or denying what you feel. Calm people don't ignore their anger, sadness, or anxiety. They simply don't let those emotions dictate their behavior. They can feel anger without exploding. This emotional fluency doesn't come from reading self-help books or attending therapy sessions. It comes from life experience. Calm people usually learn this skill through hardship. They've been through enough challenges, heartbreak, loss, and failure that force them to change their approach to life. They learned the hard way that reacting impulsively only caused more damage, and that inner peace comes from acceptance, not resistance. They also learned the value of creating space between feeling and reacting. This space is where the real strength lies. When something happens that triggers an emotional reaction, calm people don't immediately act on it. They pause. They breathe. They give themselves time to process what's happening before they decide how to respond. This isn't about suppressing their emotions. It's about giving themselves the time to choose how they want to react, rather than letting emotions take over. This ability to pause doesn't make them passive. In fact, it gives them more power. Because when you stop reacting impulsively, you can see situations more clearly. You can make decisions based on what's best for you in the long term, not just based on what feels right in the moment. Calm people have learned to trust themselves enough to handle whatever comes their way. They've stopped feeling the need to control everything because they've already learned that peace comes from surrendering to life's unpredictability. This kind of calmness often gets misunderstood. People see it as coldness or indifference. They assume that someone who remains calm during a crisis must be detached or uninterested. But the opposite is often true. Calm people are deeply compassionate. They don't rush to fix problems or offer advice. Instead, they listen. They provide emotional support without getting emotionally involved themselves. They understand that chaos is temporary and that peace isn't found in controlling everything, but in accepting things as they are. Their ability to stay calm isn't just an innate trait. It's a result of years of inner work. Many calm people went through periods of intense emotional struggle where their knee-jerk reactions only made things worse. At some point, they got tired of their own emotional chaos. They realized that peace was more important than being right, that listening was more important than talking, and that silence can often be the most powerful response. This process of transformation often begins when someone gets tired of their own emotional overreactions. They stop trying to prove themselves, to control every situation, or to fight every battle. They begin to prioritize peace over ego, understanding over judgment, and acceptance over resistance. In doing so, they create a kind of emotional stability that others can feel. As calm people continue to grow, they start seeing emotions as energy, something that can be felt, understood, and processed, but not something that should dictate their actions. They learn to ride the waves of life, rather than being tossed around by them. This doesn't mean they never experience negative emotions. They do. But they've learned to work with their emotions, not against them. This ability to pause between feeling and reacting becomes their superpower. It's the difference between being reactive and being responsive. It's why they can remain composed during a crisis. Not because they're emotionless, but because they've developed the ability to let their emotions pass through them without allowing them to overwhelm them. Their calmness is a result of experience, and it is this experience that has taught them that life doesn't always bend to your will. But peace can be found by learning how to flow with it, rather than fighting against it. They don't need to control the storm. They've learned how to stand firm in the middle of it. Calmness is often misunderstood as a form of emotional indifference or detachment, but in reality, it's something much deeper. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. In fact, calm people experience their emotions just as intensely as anyone else, but they've learned how to process and manage them in ways that prevent those emotions from taking over their behavior. At the heart of this ability is response flexibility, a concept from psychology that refers to the capacity to choose how to respond to a situation rather than reacting automatically. When most people are triggered by an event, whether it's a criticism, a stressful situation, or a conflict, they may act impulsively, driven by anger, fear, or frustration. But calm people are able to pause. They give themselves a moment to process their feelings before they react, allowing their rational mind to intervene. This moment of stillness isn't just an absence of action. It's a conscious choice to give themselves the space to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally. That pause, this gap between stimulus and reaction, is incredibly powerful. It's where emotional wisdom resides. It's not about blocking emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding them deeply enough that they no longer control your behavior. Calm people can feel anger, but they don't lash out. They can feel sadness, but they don't drown in it. They can feel fear, but they don't freeze. Instead, they observe these emotions, understand them, and let them pass, without letting them dictate their actions. This isn't something that comes naturally to most people. For calm individuals, their ability to remain composed in the face of chaos is the result of years of emotional training. Learning through experience that emotional reactions don't necessarily lead to positive outcomes. They've tried reacting impulsively, and they've seen how it only makes things worse. They've faced enough difficult situations to understand that panic doesn't speed up healing, and that responding in anger or fear usually causes more harm than good. Over time, they learned that the best response to a storm is not to fight it, but to ride it. But this ability to remain calm wasn't developed overnight. Calm people didn't always have the capacity to pause before reacting. In fact, many of them went through intense periods of emotional turbulence where they felt overwhelmed by their feelings. They, too, were once prone to overthinking, to seeking control, to reacting impulsively. However, through experience, they gradually began to realize that the more they tried to control everything, the more out of control they felt. Eventually, they stopped trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, they learned how to accept life's unpredictability and navigate it with grace. They realized that peace isn't found in trying to fix everything or make life conform to their expectations. Peace comes from acceptance. Accepting that things won't always go as planned. Accepting that life can be messy and uncertain. And accepting that their emotional reactions don't have to define their experience. The more calm people practice this approach, the stronger their emotional resilience becomes. They stop reacting impulsively because they've learned that doing so only exhausts them. They've learned to choose their battles, to let go of the need to be right all the time, and to focus on what truly matters: inner peace. When they encounter stressful situations, they don't immediately rush to fix them. They don't dive headfirst into conflict. Instead, they give themselves time to assess the situation, process their emotions, and respond thoughtfully. This doesn't mean they're passive. They simply know that not every situation requires a reaction. Calmness also gives them the ability to see the bigger picture. While others may get caught up in the details, focusing on the immediate crisis or emotional turmoil, calm people can step back and look at the broader context. They see things from a higher vantage point, understanding that most problems are temporary and that what may seem like a major issue today may not have the same significance tomorrow. This shift in perspective allows them to stay grounded, even when everyone else is spiraling. Instead of being dragged into the drama, they remain an observer, often able to see patterns and connections that others miss. Another important aspect of calmness is empathy. Calm people often possess a deep sense of compassion, not just because they are emotionally intelligent, but because they understand the emotional landscape from within. They've experienced their own struggles, and this gives them the capacity to empathize with others in a way that feels genuine. They listen attentively, not to judge, but to understand. They create a safe space for others to express themselves, without feeling rushed or judged. This ability to listen without reacting is incredibly powerful. It allows calm people to hold space for others, to provide comfort and clarity in situations where people are struggling with their own emotions. Their calm presence alone can often help to de-escalate tense situations because others can feel the security and stability they offer. While calm people are deeply in touch with their own emotions, they don't allow those emotions to drive their decisions. They've learned that not every emotion requires an immediate expression. For example, when someone insults them, they don't feel the need to immediately retaliate. Instead, they may choose to pause, reflect, and respond in a way that aligns with their values, rather than reacting out of hurt or anger. They've learned that reacting impulsively often leads to regret, while responding thoughtfully allows them to maintain control over their emotional energy. Their ability to stay calm also means they're less likely to be manipulated by others. They don't get caught up in power struggles or emotional manipulation because they've learned that their emotional state is theirs to control. They don't allow other people's chaos to become their own. When the world is loud and unpredictable, calm people can still hear themselves think. And because of this, they make decisions that are rooted in clarity, not in the chaos around them. Calmness, as it turns out, is not simply a trait that some people are born with. It's something that's cultivated over time. It's a discipline that many calm individuals developed through struggle, failure, and self-reflection. They didn't just wake up one day and decide to be calm in every situation. They built their ability to remain composed through experience, by facing emotional storms, by reacting poorly and learning from their mistakes, and by realizing that living in emotional chaos only drains them. The process of becoming calm is often rooted in personal transformation. For many calm individuals, it began with a period of extreme emotional overwhelm. They may have found themselves constantly caught in cycles of anxiety, frustration, anger, or regret. These overwhelming emotions caused pain, frustration, and exhaustion. Over time, they began to realize that reacting impulsively didn't bring peace. It only brought more turmoil. They began to understand that peace is not a passive state, but an active choice. And it's this realization that made them seek a different path, one that didn't involve fighting every wave, but learning how to ride them with balance. As calm people continued to grow emotionally, they began to realize that the root of their calmness was an acceptance of the uncontrollable nature of life. Life doesn't always go as planned, and bad things happen even to the best of us. The calm person understands that not every challenge can be fixed immediately, nor does every problem need to be solved. Sometimes, life simply needs to be experienced, and the more you resist it, the harder it becomes. Over time, they learn that inner peace comes not from controlling life, but from allowing it to unfold and choosing to accept it as it comes. One of the most powerful things about calm people is their ability to see things from a bigger perspective. When most people are caught in the whirlwind of a stressful situation, calm individuals have learned to step back, take a breath, and look at the bigger picture. They understand that most things, especially emotional reactions, are temporary. They know that even in the midst of turmoil, if they can create space between feeling and reacting, they will be able to see things more clearly. This ability to zoom out allows them to make better decisions and remain more stable when things get difficult. This larger perspective also allows calm people to adapt to situations more easily. When life doesn't go as planned, they don't panic. Instead, they embrace change as part of the natural flow of life. They don't resist it, they work with it. This adaptability is a key factor in their emotional resilience. It allows them to adjust their expectations when things don't turn out the way they envisioned. They don't waste energy fighting the circumstances. Instead, they focus on making the best of whatever comes their way. Another trait that sets calm people apart is their emotional intelligence. They've learned to read people on a deeper level, not just their words, but their energy, motivations, and underlying emotions. Because of this, they often act as emotional translators, able to understand what others are feeling without being overwhelmed by it. This makes them excellent listeners and confidants, able to hold space for others without getting emotionally entangled. In fact, calm people are often the ones others turn to in times of crisis, not because they have all the answers, but because their presence offers something rare: emotional clarity. When everyone else is panicking, the calm person is the one who can be present without being affected by the chaos. They hold space for others to express their fears, anger, and pain without judgment. And in doing so, they provide a safe harbor in the midst of emotional storms. However, while calm people are deeply empathetic, their emotional strength doesn't come from constantly absorbing the emotions of others. They understand that in order to maintain their own peace, they must also set boundaries. They don't allow other people's emotional turbulence to dictate their emotional state. By setting healthy boundaries, they are able to preserve their own energy, allowing them to continue offering support without being drained. This is one of the reasons why calm people tend to be emotionally resilient. They've learned how to protect their energy. They know when to engage and when to step back, and they don't feel guilty for taking care of themselves. Their calmness is not the result of denying or avoiding emotions. It's the result of learning how to manage emotions in a way that keeps them grounded, no matter what's happening around them. Furthermore, calm people are often deeply self-aware. They understand their own emotional triggers and know how to navigate them without getting caught in them. They've learned to recognize when they are beginning to react impulsively and can take a step back to recalibrate before they engage. This self-awareness gives them a level of control over their emotional state that most people don't have. They don't need to control everything externally because they've learned to control themselves internally. This level of emotional self-regulation allows them to be present in a way that many others are not. When life gets loud, when emotions run high, calm people can still hear themselves think. They can stay in the moment, unaffected by the noise around them. This doesn't mean they are immune to emotional pain. It means they've learned how to feel their emotions without letting them take over. The real strength of calm people lies in their ability to choose peace, even when everything around them is in turmoil. It's the ability to choose not to react, not to chase after the next thing, but to simply be. And in a world that thrives on constant motion and reaction, this stillness is incredibly powerful. Their calmness isn't just for them. It has a ripple effect on everyone around them. Because when you remain calm, you give others permission to do the same. You offer a steady hand, an anchor in a storm. And this, in turn, creates an environment where peace can grow, not just internally, but in the world around you. Calmness is not a trait that can be turned on and off at will. It's a way of life. It's the result of years of practice, of learning to move with life's ebb and flow, rather than trying to control it. This doesn't mean that calm people never experience emotional turbulence. They do. The difference lies in how they respond to those emotions. Instead of allowing the emotional waves to overwhelm them, they've learned to ride them with grace. One of the core principles that underpins calmness is the understanding that life is inherently unpredictable. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much you try to control the outcome, life will always throw curveballs. The calmer individuals understand this deeply. They've lived through enough unexpected events, disappointments, setbacks, and loss to know that no amount of worrying or controlling will ever eliminate uncertainty. But what they've learned through experience is that peace isn't something you achieve once all the uncertainty disappears. It's something you cultivate despite it. This shift in perspective is profound. Instead of seeking to escape uncertainty or chaos, calm people embrace it. They've learned that peace comes not from avoiding difficult situations, but from being able to face them with a balanced mind. This is why they are often able to remain so composed, even in situations where others would panic or break down. They've come to understand that uncertainty isn't something to fear, it's simply part of life's flow. And by accepting that truth, they can navigate life's unpredictability with a quiet confidence. Another key to their calmness is their ability to accept what is, rather than always striving to change things. Calm people know that there are many things in life that are beyond their control, and they don't waste energy trying to fix things that can't be fixed. Instead, they focus on what they can change, their own reactions, their mindset, their attitude. This doesn't mean they are passive or resigned. On the contrary, they are highly active participants in their own lives. But they've learned that sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is to accept things as they are, without resistance. This ability to accept without resignation allows them to make better decisions. When faced with a challenge, calm people don't rush to fix it immediately. They first take the time to understand the situation fully, considering all aspects and possible outcomes. By pausing to assess the situation without getting caught up in the emotion of it, they are able to make decisions that are more thoughtful, rational, and aligned with their long-term values. This approach not only saves them time and energy, but it also keeps them from spiraling into unnecessary stress. Calm individuals also tend to value simplicity. They understand that life can become unnecessarily complicated when we overthink things or try to control every aspect. That's why they often cultivate simple routines, habits, and practices that help them stay grounded. These daily rituals provide a sense of control and stability in an otherwise unpredictable world. A quiet morning coffee, a short walk outside, or a few minutes of silent reflection are small practices that help calm people maintain their center. These habits aren't about escaping the chaos of the world, but about finding stillness within it. They know that consistency and routine create a sense of predictability in their lives, which gives their minds the space to handle the external unpredictability. This balance of simplicity and stability is what allows them to maintain their calm in the face of external turbulence. Furthermore, calm individuals don't hold on to resentment or carry emotional baggage with them. They know that carrying grudges or dwelling on past wrongs only weighs them down and drains their energy. Instead, they focus on forgiving and letting go. Forgiveness isn't just for the person who wronged them, it's for their own peace of mind. They've learned that harboring negative emotions doesn't serve them. Instead, it keeps them tethered to the past and prevents them from fully embracing the present. By letting go of grudges, they free themselves from the emotional burden that most people carry without even realizing it. One of the most remarkable aspects of calmness is its ripple effect. Calm people don't need to seek attention or validation. Their presence alone has an impact. Their calmness often spreads to others, helping to create a more peaceful environment wherever they go. Because they remain steady in the face of adversity, others are naturally drawn to them for guidance and support. This calm energy can soothe the anxieties of others, creating a ripple of peace that extends beyond the individual. However, calm people are also aware of the importance of setting boundaries. They know that maintaining inner peace doesn't mean sacrificing their needs or allowing others to take advantage of their calm nature. Instead, they recognize that their emotional energy is valuable and must be protected. By setting healthy boundaries with others, they preserve their ability to stay grounded and centered. They don't feel guilty for saying no or for putting themselves first when needed. They understand that in order to continue offering support to others, they must first take care of their own emotional well-being. Lastly, calm individuals understand that true strength lies in restraint, not in reaction. It takes far more emotional strength to remain composed when provoked than it does to react impulsively. They've learned that emotional restraint is a form of personal empowerment. Instead of letting external events dictate their emotions, they maintain control over how they respond. This doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It means they've learned to express their emotions in a way that is thoughtful and intentional, rather than reactive. In this way, calm people have become masters of their emotional world. They don't fear their emotions, they understand them. They've learned to transform intense feelings into wisdom, to process pain and frustration without letting them dominate their lives. Their emotional maturity allows them to navigate life with a depth of insight and clarity that many others struggle to find. This ability to maintain calmness is not about avoiding life's challenges. It's about facing them with a grounded, clear perspective. By learning to let go of control, to trust themselves, and to embrace the unknown, calm people have discovered a profound freedom. And that freedom, in turn, allows them to live more fully, more meaningfully, and more peacefully, regardless of the storms they may face.